Hi, Courtney Quinn here with Leafreport at the USA CBD Expo in Miami. I'm here with Britney from SavageCBD. Britney, what would you like to tell us about Savage?
Savage is a company that's been around since 2014. We actually come from the vaping industry, and we've been in the CBD realm for about 2 years now. So quite a long time for CBD, as it's like quite the hype and pretty new this year, I think, and a little bit of last year. So yeah, and I'm the marketing director there.
Oh, very nice. How do you ensure the product's quality, purity, and cleanliness?
Sure. So when we work with like one guy, and we met him like 3 years ago, and he's super trustworthy, but essentially we get the raw ingredients in, and then we test them in a third party before we even start using those products to make sure that his COA matches the COA we get from the third party lab. And if it does, then we start production. After production, we, again, take all the finished products back to the lab, make sure that it is what we say it is in the bottle within a 5% plus or minus 5%. And that's how we ensure it in third-party lab test results, really.
Oh, that's great. What is your transparency policy?
So we are super transparent. I think we have a really unique marketing situation specifically because we market from the floor up, meaning like we really reach the consumers versus like, well, we obviously still do B2B, but it's important for us to go live every week on Facebook. We actually do it twice a week. We constantly comment on Instagram and Facebook. You know, we're engaging with the consumers and answering their questions, because it's not only selling a product, but there's education that goes along with the CBD, and like they just don't know. And it's our responsibility to educate them while they have to educate themselves and research on their own. Like if we can help them and like make sure that they understand like what it is we say it is in the bottle, that's fine. And if they don't even want to buy our product, like I just want them to understand like, hey, make sure that whoever you're buying from has lab test results, a working phone number, an email where you can get a hold of them. Ask these questions before you like put anything in your body, because you just don't know unless they're being transparent. So we try and be transparent as much as possible. All of our lab test results are online. Every product has a QR code that anybody can scan at any time and pull those up, and they're updated every 15th of the month.
Wow, that's something very unique I've heard, that you actually go live with your consumers. So that's great.
Yep, every week.
Awesome. Tell us about the range of products you have and the highlights of each product family.
Sure. So we've got vapable CBD e-liquid, essentially, because we come from the vape industry. It was like a pretty easy bridge into the CBD world. So we've got those. Those are made with isolate, CBD isolate, and there's 3 different milligrams: 250 milligram, 500 milligram, and 1,000 milligram. We've got tinctures, 2 flavors, and those are a full spectrum product. And there's 2 flavors, pink grapefruit and lemon lime. And those come in 1,000 milligram, 1,500, and 2,000 milligram. We've also got cartridges that are, we've got an isolate one and a full spectrum cartridge. We've got disposable CBD pens. You just vape and throw it away once you're done. We've got topicals, lotion, aloe, and sunscreen, which is pretty unique because I don't think anyone else has a sunscreen. So we've gotten a lot of good feedback on that. Actually, physically at this show, we're out of the sunscreen because everyone was like super hyped about it, which is cool. We've got a pet spray, so CBD for your pets. All it is MCT coconut oil and CBD, so it can be sprayed on their food and their mouth, topically used on their fur. And then we have soft gels as well, so full spectrum capsules, if you will. You can swallow them, and then I think is that it? I think that's it. So we've got it just depends on how you want to take CBD. We've got it for you. Oh no, we have gummies too. So we got a full wide range of products.
Yeah, very nice. What are your recommendations for the beginner user? Someone who has heard about CBD and is wondering where to start, maybe worried about legalities, efficacy, or safety issues.
Sure. So if I was a consumer and I was just getting into the CBD world, I would read a bunch of blogs. I would research before I did anything. Just like everything, like when I'm buying a car, I'm researching, I'm looking up, I'm not doing it that day, I'm finding out all the information I can. And then, go to the website of or if I've heard of something, I would call them. Honestly, I would call them and ask for like I said, lab test results. I would ask, make sure they had a working phone number, email them, ask questions, whatever questions they had. And then I would, I know CBD can be expensive. That's the other thing we get asked a lot is why is it so expensive? It's an expensive product. So maybe start with something a little on the cheaper side, a cartridge or like a vapable. They're not as expensive as like a tincture. And then, read a dosing chart and kind of get like a feel for that and how much you take. And it does involve a little bit of math to get the dosage. So like, I would just tell them, just take the milligram of whatever you're using. Say you have a tincture that's 1,000 milligrams, and in that one, you take the 1,000 milligrams divided by the size of the bottle, which is 30 in our situation, and you get 33.3 repeating, and that's how much CBD you get in 1 mil. And all of ours have measuring sticks, so that's how you kind of know. So, and I always tell people like half a mil, depending, start there and go up or down, or just stay there, whatever works for you, but give it a chance to work, because it's not just like a one and done situation. Kind of make it part of your daily routine and like stick with it, because everybody is different and every body is different, and like it's not necessarily going to be the case that our stuff works for everybody and some of our stuff does work for everybody, you know. So it's just stick with it, find what works for you, even if it's not our product, like just stick with it.
That's great advice, thank you. What would you say makes your company unique? What sets it apart from other companies and brands?
I think first of all, our packaging and our graphic designer does an amazing job. If you look at anything except for the vapables, she actually hand drew. Everything is different on every box. A different a piece of artwork on every box in our packaging. I love the way it looks. It looks like it belongs like a Trader Joe's or your like local wellness store. So that's first and foremost. Our packaging is amazing. Secondly, our transparency, and obviously, you know, having lab test results and being knowledgeable about the product, because there's a lot of people in this industry who don't know. You ask them questions and they honestly don't know how to answer those questions, and that's kind of sad. From a consumer standpoint, like, you got to be asking these questions and the manufacturers need to know the answers. So there's that, and then the way that we market, like I said, straight to the consumer. We focus solely on the consumer because you're the one spending your dollar bills, and you know, we want you to spend it with us. But if you don't, at least we can educate you for like an hour every week, or even 2 hours every week on our live streams. So I think that it's really just, you know, getting in touch with the consumer as much as possible. And I think we're really good at that, and that's definitely what sets us apart.
Yeah, that's great. Very important.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts you can share about the current legal status of CBD?
I mean, just my personal opinion, I wish it was more legal and like not so like red tape. I mean, every state is different. Every other state has a different law. Every county has a different law. I mean, it's awesome that it's like you can farm or you can grow hemp on an like industrial scale. Like, I know that was passed, but that doesn't necessarily mean. I just wrote a blog about this. Like, I know TSA has loosened up a little bit, but traveling with CBD, I read something about people getting arrested in Dallas for like CBD products at the airport, and I just think the national government and the local state governments and police officers and anyone who's involved kind of needs to also be educated as well, for sure. They need to be educated and like kind of understand like the difference. And I know it's hard because there aren't really regulations in this industry, so it's hard for them to tell if there's THC just based on the packaging alone. So I think that'll come down the line, but educate yourselves, government. That's what I would say. Honestly, that's what I would say, is education for everybody.
Great, thanks for your input. What do you think a user should look for in a product?
Quality, transparency. Do they have lab test results that you can go to at any point and look at? Can they answer the questions accurately and like to your satisfaction? Or can they not? You know, if they can't answer your questions, I probably wouldn't buy from them. They can answer your questions honestly, openly, and like, even if it's a let me check, I'll get back to you kind of situation. Because look, we're all still learning. We don't know everything. It's such a broad like industry, and there's so much to know about it. But I would just definitely do your research and make sure that it's like a reputable company who's like got everything working and like doing, at least trying to do the right things.
Great. Do you use CBD yourself? If so, which products?
So I do. I actually, I use our tinctures. Either one is great. Lemon lime is my favorite. And I use about a mil of 1,000 milligrams every night before I go to bed. And for no particular reason other than I find that I've slept better. But I didn't have any ailments before. I was just like, just because I work at the company, it's probably important like try the products out. But yeah, that's what I use. So every night.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
How do you see the future of the CBD industry?
I think it's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. It'll get a little bit more regulated, and I hope that people, manufacturers, companies, start following start doing the right thing. I know not everybody isn't doing the right thing, and not everybody is doing the right thing. And I just hope that everyone starts putting out like good products, quality products, and educating themselves and the consumers. And I think it's just going to grow. I mean, I really think the sky's the limit, honestly. Yeah, so I just want to show you guys, this is one of our disposable pens. It's berry mint. We have 3 flavors. It's 200 milligrams in a half mil cartridge. It's just an all-in-one. You literally take it out of the box and start vaping it, and then once the battery dies, you just throw it away and get a new one. Pretty cool device. If you're new to it, it's very easy, pretty unintimidating. I like it. This is the tincture. It's my favorite, lemon lime. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but like I said earlier, the graphic designer drew it's something different on the bottom. Every product has a different picture that she hand drew, so the packaging alone is amazing. But it's great. It's a 30 ml bottle, full spectrum product. It's the most expensive one we have though, so just keep that in mind, but definitely worth your money. The lotion I love. If you're into topicals, you have like arthritis, you need to like pinpoint a certain area on your body, use this. It's 300 milligrams, so it's really going to be able to penetrate that dermal layer, which is important because the skin's so thick. It's actually like the slowest way to absorb CBD is with topicals, but I just use it because I love the smell of it. It's lavender citrus. It's a 60 ml bottle, but a little bit goes a long way. I would just use it for your face, probably not a whole body situation, but you do whatever you want. And then this is my favorite vapable. It's called Serene. It's a double green apple candy. It's just meant to be put in your vaporizer, but if you're vaping CBD, the important thing to remember is keep the wattage very low. 10 to 15 watts, that's all you need. Otherwise, if it's too hot, you're just burning the CBD and essentially not getting all the benefits from it, and you're just vaping flavored apple juice, essentially. So keep your wattage low, get a pod system, put it in the pod system. 10 to 15 watts is literally all you need. So those are like some of the products that we have, and yeah.
Well, it's been great talking with you, Brittany. Thank you for sharing your views and knowledge with us.
Thank you.